Diaspora is isolating because everyone has their own struggle. You're at home, you're alone. You have no one to talk to. There's cultural barrier. You go into the store and you realize there's 17 types of milk. Once you're a US citizen or a permanent resident, there's something called Social Security. So that Social Security may not be a lot in the US. Maybe you're going to get 1,000. It's just like NSSF here, how our parents used to get 2K, yeah? So, but that 1,000, when it comes to Kenya, is 130. Hi, my name is Shiro, Giga. People call me Shiru Mapesa or aka Shiru Mapesa. I'm a financial literacy coach. In terms of what we are doing right now is just educating people in diaspora about financial planning. That when you're abroad, you're there for a period. So you want to know when you're coming back when you're older that umejipanga, you have cash flow. Number two, you have assets, you have somewhere to stay. And you're able to take care of your medical needs and your day-to-day living.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you had what many would call a successful corporate career in Kenya.
Correct.
What prompted you to actually migrate from Kenya to the US?
Maybe I would want to just go back a little bit. So for me, I was a banker for over, I would say 15 years in Kenya. I worked in credit management for one of the big four banks here in Kenya. And then my last job, I was a branch manager. So I really enjoyed being in community and helping small businesses access capital for their businesses and seeing their businesses grow. So that was my passion, and I enjoyed that career. However, you know, it comes a time in your life as a lady, you realize, hey, time is moving.
Yeah.
And I came across this young, handsome man, and he was like, hey, I want to go abroad. I have gotten a scholarship, and I want to go and study. And I told him, hey, you go with Jesus. Tembea na Yesu. I can't wait for you. I'm 35. I don't have time. If you find me when you come back, when I'm still single, I'll be okay. And he was like, no, why don't we go together? So we got married, and he was supposed to be there for a year for his program. And when he finished, he got a job, and that is how we transitioned now to the US. Yeah.
So what did you do when you got to the US?
Way, life was hard. First and foremost, even that transition was very difficult because you can imagine I'm in corporate Kenya. I am earning very well. I have status. I'm somebody. And my parents are, of course, very proud of me being their firstborn. And then now I'm going to tell my father, I'm dumping my job. I'm dumping this glorious job, this glorious lifestyle, and I'm following this guy who's going as a student. We have no money, we have no hakuna mpango, you know, like it was a very decisive decision, but I wasn't sure. I took a risk. And then when I got there, I didn't realize I was moving from corporate to dishes. I was now going to become a housewife, where this guy is going to class, and then he comes home, and I'm sitting there helping him do his homework, and yeah, trying to figure out what to do with my life for a whole year while he studies.
Did you feel stuck?
Completely. First, you're calling people in Kenya. People are busy. People have lives. And the clients who used to call you, or even who was calling you, they were calling you because they could access something out of you. Now you have nothing, and you're in diaspora. So that's when you really realize that you need to build a relationship with your family members. So I'd call my mom all the time. I'd try and call my friends. They're busy. And it was a very isolating year, I would say that. Yeah.
Okay. When you say isolating, can you just briefly take us through the process?
Diaspora is isolating because everyone is there, everyone has their own struggle. So you can be a couple, but your partner is facing his own challenges. He's going to class, he's busy with his classes. You're at home, you're alone. You have no one to talk to. There's cultural barrier. You go into the store and you realize there's 17 types of milk. There's no one you can call and ask them, I'm looking for this, where do I get? You know, like in Kenya, like now I've come, any problem I have, I just pick up the phone. How do I get this? How do I get this? I want a mattress, where do I get? There you don't have any network. So it's very hard. You have to now look for a community. So I had to look for churches, join, and figure out how do I start building a community there. Yeah.
And at what point did you now realize, like, I can't be sitting at home?
Yeah.
I have to figure out what I need to do with my life.
I think for me, as I said, my initial purpose was I wanted to get married and I wanted to have a family. So I was very clear the first year I wanted to bond with my partner, get to know him, and I wanted to have a child. But some of these things you don't have control.
Yeah.
So it didn't happen immediately. And that was what frustrated me. And so I then now started seeking, where can I go volunteer, only to realize this visa that I have come with, I'm not allowed to do anything. So I tried now looking for people who could educate me. How does the system work? Who can teach me what to do? And everyone kept on telling me, you need to go back to school. And school needs money. So I ended up going back to Kenya, selling a few of my assets, and joining USCLA to do a finance certificate, just to be able to get into the system. And that now opened doors for me, because I was able to get a social security and get a work permit while I was in school. Yeah.
And now take us through the process. After you got that certificate, did you get a job immediately?
Yes. I think the one thing about the diaspora or the US is this: the system is rewarding. When you put in effort, it gives back. So like for me, when I came here, I was thinking, am I making a mistake? I'm selling my assets to go to school. In that time we were in California. But that money came back immediately, because when I joined school, I got a scholarship in my second semester, and then I got a job on campus at UCLA in the catering department, and I was a finance administrator. And it was paying pretty decent. So I started now learning how to use the train, bus, and then I had a bit of money that I could put in my pocket. So that was it was a good thing to do. That money paid off, yes.
It's a conversation that a lot of couples who live Kenya together tend to separate when they get there. From your own experience and observation, why do you think that happened?
First, you need to know the partner you're with. Are you aligned in purpose? What's your objective? When you're going to the US, what's your objective? Are you aligned in purpose? So like for me, as I said, I was following my spouse. So can you imagine if I was in corporate Kenya, I was a banker, I had money, I had my own home paid off, my car paid off, and then I follow this guy, and then he has a huge job, but now we have 3 children, and I'm in their home, and I'm doing everything domestic, but I have no money. Alafu, ananikaza. You know, maybe he's not giving me money, or he's not considering my opinion when we discuss any home matters. So usually the biggest challenge people have is understanding when you move to abroad, there's no help. There's no community, there's no family. So your partner, you have to partner in everything. If I'm washing dishes, you're cooking. If I'm changing the baby's diaper, you're doing homework. There's no gender roles. So the way we have them in Kenya. So if you're a partner and you're thinking, I'm not able to do things that I think are supposed to be done with women, please leave diaspora alone, stay in Kenya, because you lose your spouse. Yeah.
And you've mentioned gender roles, which is like here in Kenya, we know what you're supposed to do at home.
Yeah.
Do you feel like Kenyan men actually embrace these changes when they get there, and women too?
For me, I struggled. I'm not domesticated at all. Till today, I struggle. And I'm just lucky that I got a partner who understands me. And so what am I good at? I'm good at cleaning. The high school I went to, that was my role. So I'm very good with cleaning the house. I'm very good with planning, appointments, doctor appointments, sports. So I do the things that I'm good at. And he helps me with the things that I'm not good at. So it just depends on the tone of view and how you agree. But if you have a partner who's proud and thinks this is supposed to be done by a woman, that's not going to work abroad. You really have to know that, assuming, say, your wife is working at night, the baby has to be changed. So when you're left with the baby, you won't change the diaper because your wife has gone to work for 12 hours.
And you're a man.
And you're a man, yeah.
Okay. And what would you say, today you focus on financial literacy, right?
Yeah.
What would you say is the biggest mistake Kenyans do financially when they get to diaspora?
I think the first thing I teach people is about budgeting. As a financial literacy coach, you have to do a budget. You know you earn 5,000 a month, and you are a married man, and you have got a wife in Kenya with 3 children. Your wife is a teacher. You told her, no, leave this job. I want to take care of my kids. La hujajenga, and you have insisted they have to live in Nairobi. So all the money you're sending, your black tax, your 5,000, after it's removed tax, maybe you have 4K. You're sending everything back home, but it's towards paying school fees, paying for rent, paying for everyday living. 10 years down the line, when you're sent back because you didn't have permanent status, we said Kenyans, most of us are economic immigrants. Maybe you went there on a visitor visa, you don't have permanent residency. So when you come back home, what are you coming back to? So we're talking about financial planning, that all this money you're sending as black tax, it should be towards part of it should be towards developing or investing in your future. So basics, like for me now, let's tell them build, even if it's in a rural area. Maybe you come from a very far place, but you can think, okay, maybe I don't have to go all the way to Kisumu or Homa Bay, but I can build in Nakuru, I can build in Thika and have a home. Your family doesn't have to necessarily live there, but you want to make sure when you're coming back, you have somewhere to stay. Number two, in terms of cash flow, I think that's the one thing I keep on talking about. Our parents who have worked even in Kenya, they have assets. They've bought land, they've bought what. But in their retirement, they are not liquid. So you see maybe a parent is unwell, and what happens? We're now tunachanga, harambe. Yeah? Yet this person is a very wealthy person, they have assets, but they're not liquid in their retirement. So I think that's the main thing I learned. So I just wanted to explain to you. So career-wise, I ended up going into lending, which I was doing in Kenya. When we moved from California to Washington, because as I said, for us, we realized there's a primary breadwinner and there's a primary caregiver. So wherever my partner can find work, that is where we go. He's a primary. Mimi, I plug into wherever he is. So when we moved from California to Washington, he got a good job, and now I was like, okay, I'm back to square one. I need to find a new job again. Yeah? What do? I ended up getting into the lending space. Someone told me, get a mortgage lending license, and I got into the lending space. So I got to learn about real estate, how it works there, and how financing is done. But come 2024, I transitioned, 2023, 2024, I transitioned to the non-profit space.
Okay.
So the non-profit space basically is you're doing lending, but it's community-based. So we are trying to empower women. Oh, you want to start a salon? Let's help you with a business plan. Let's sit down and figure out how you're going to get capital to start your business. You want to open a small car restaurant? How do we help you? And how do we fund you? That's what I was doing, women economic empowerment. Come the end of 2024, things have changed in the US. People are losing their jobs because of funding being lost. So I then had to change my mindset. Am I still going to go back to now doing care? What do I do? Do I abandon finance? I'm not getting a job. And remember, for me, most of the finance jobs are in the bigger cities. They're in Seattle. We are in a place called Tacoma. It's a 1.5 hour drive. I can't be able to drive in the morning because who's going to drop the kids to school? Who's going to pick them up at 3 o'clock? Who's going to take them for gymnastics? Who's going to take them for swimming? Who's going to do homework? So I can't be an absent mother. I'm the primary caregiver.
Okay.
So whatever job I'm doing, it has to be around the program of my family. So that's why most women are looking into doing healthcare, because they work at night when their kids are asleep. But for me, I've always been in finance. I've been in financial health. So I was like, let me rethink, what do I do? What do I do? And then I met this lady who kept on telling me, Shiro, you're very intelligent. You're always educating us about financial literacy. Why don't you come and we start doing education of people, teaching them about protection and retirement planning? And I'm like, oh. And then I went to meet her and I realized this is it. What is my biggest challenge right now? What's my biggest fear? That today, if myself or my partner, we are going out of the house and someone rams into us. Yeah, because in America we all work with our hands. So if someone rams into us and now my hand is broken, in Kenya you go and live, you heal. In America you don't earn, you don't eat. 2 months of not working, you're finished. So we're teaching people about replacing that income. That if I take $100, which most people can afford, I can get a cover of $1 million. Yeah? But that $1 million, the main thing is getting replacement income. So the life insurance in the US is focused on living benefits. If you're not worrying about, okay, I'm going to take cover and when I die, my children will get, that's part of it, yes. But the main thing is right now, say I'm 40, I have until 65 to work. If I get injured along the way, do I lose my home? Do I lose all the assets I've acquired because I was out of commission for 6 months? No. That small policy of $100 gives me a cover of an M, but on top of that, it has replacement income where if I'm not able to work because I'm injured or if I'm not able to work because I'm sick, I'm getting $10,000, which pays for my bills for 4 years as I'm waiting to figure out what next. Same with illness. People in our 40s, me, I'm in my mid-40s, we're all getting diagnosed with a big C. We're all getting diagnosed with illnesses that you don't know where to begin. And you're in diaspora, you have a family, you have a wife, you have children. What happens? You need cash. Because you want to stay there, maybe you want to access the system for medical treatment, but who will pay your bills while you are unwell? And if, say, for example, my husband was to get sick, I have to take care of him. So now we are both out of a job. So replacement income is what we're teaching people about protection. You bought a home, you bought a car, you've invested, but all these are mortgage. You have a mortgage every month. If you don't pay it for 3 months, you lose the home. So when you have that protection cover, even if you're a caregiver, maybe you can't do $100, you can do 50. It protects you that I have replacement income. I earn $5K a month, and if I'm not able to go to work because I'm sick, I'm going to get this insurance cover that will help me for a year or two while I recover. So that's the first element. The second element is what we were saying. You've been in diaspora, like now me, I've been in diaspora 10 years. Do you know right now maybe I have no coin to my name? So how can you build wealth? Kenya, we know, a plot, build, construct, which is okay. I always believe in diversification of investment. But life insurance is a very good vehicle where someone can put in money so that when you're in retirement, now past 65 to the time when you die, you have somewhere you can be able to liquid. In America, many people don't realize that if you're able to work hard or figure out how to get into the system, once you're a U.S. citizen or a permanent resident, there's something called Social Security. So that Social Security may not be a lot in the U.S. Maybe you're going to get 1,000. It's just like NSSF here, how our parents used to get 2K, yeah? So, but that 1,000, when it comes to Kenya, is 130. So imagine if I had known that and made sure I work for 10 years, I get my Social Security check, me and my partner. If we have 200K, 300,000, and we live in Nyeri, isn't that good liquidity? So we're not now calling our children, we don't have food, or we are sick, we need. So you're liquid in retirement. So one of them is Social Security. The other one we're teaching people is, are you investing in your retirement? If your employer has a pension program, even for you guys here in Kenya, please go and contribute to it. Because what happens in retirement, you need that money. You are going to have a fixed income. Even if it will be 30, 40,000 Kenya shillings, it's a huge, huge blessing in your retirement. So once you've done that, then there's another group now, you're in business. Or you're employed in a gig, you're an Uber driver. You've driven Uber in America for 10 years. When you come back to Kenya, what will you be eating? So we're teaching them about universal index life and telling them it's very hard to save. If you tell yourself I'm supposed to be putting 10% of my income towards retirement, so say I earn 5,000, putting away $500 is a lot. And what usually happens, madhe ni mgonjwa, the child is sick, this is happening.
Chama.
You take it, you pinch it.
Yeah.
So actually even in chamas, we're telling people, that money you're putting in chama, why don't you put it in this universal index life? Why? You put money there, you put a standing order. That is money you're saving towards your retirement. You're not touching it anytime soon. But if you're in a fix, maybe 5 years from now you're stuck, your child is going to high school, you can borrow against it. So your money is still growing, it's earning interest, but you're able to borrow from the insurance company because you have a policy. So you are liquid, both for emergency, for opportunity. If you see like a good project, you want to put money, you can pull out. But your initial investment, it's still growing and is accessible to you when you retire.
Okay.
So in general, it's just financial planning that even if you're earning as little money, but when you're retiring or when you're sick, you're not destitute. You have something.
Okay.
Yeah.
And Shiro, we've talked about the challenges, the solutions you offer. What are some of the opportunities from your own perspective and experience that Kenyans who are traveling to the US can take advantage of?
So, as I said, for me, I was of old school, 844 system, where we're told, study hard, get your straight A, get employed. But my experience when we moved to Washington is I realized there are a lot of people there who have decided they're going to do business. So like the healthcare business, for example, they are called adult family homes, where somebody was a caregiver, they were doing that work of just taking care of the shosho, and then because they came with their wife, they've worked hard, they buy a house. And then they go and they get licensed. They go, they do the class and they get a home. And within a year or two, you realize, hey, this person has really elevated. What has happened? So business people make money. If you want to be a millionaire in America or in any diaspora country, you must think about doing business. And that's where my mindset is now changing. I've always wanted, let me be employed. Let me try and move from 100,000 to 200,000. But business has no limit. And those business people actually are also the people we're targeting for our investment. This one, we're talking about retirement planning, the Universal Index Life. Why? It's a very good way of mitigating their tax. So maybe I am a big business person, I have 5 homes. My revenue has reached $1 million. I'm being taxed 40%. That's a lot of money. But I can put money in this vehicle that allows you to invest without being taxed. And it allows you to draw without being taxed. So many of these people are putting it where they're getting protection, but at the same time, they're reducing their tax bracket. So they move maybe from 40% to 25%, and they save money. Even in Kenya, the people who are very wealthy, hawalipangi ushuru. They don't pay, or rather, they don't pay as much as people who are
the working class.
Yes, correct. Yeah.
Okay. And what advice do you have for any Kenyan who is trying to have an opportunity abroad?
The challenge I've seen, because I've been coming every 2 years, I've been coming home. I think the biggest challenge we're having right now is that there are no opportunities for employment. And even for doing business, it's become very hard. Because like right now, I've had the permits, everything has gone up. I was just listening to my dad complaining, everything is expensive, permits are going up, and there are no job opportunities. So anyone who is educated, the Kenyan education system is amazing. Everyone who has Kenyan education can make it anywhere in the world. And also English. You are able to speak English and you're educated in Kenya, you can make it anywhere. So if you're in Kenya and you have no source of income and there's nothing that is, you're not economically empowered and you have an opportunity to go anywhere, it doesn't matter, go. I've met so many people in diaspora in the US who didn't start in the US. They were taken to Saudi. They went to Jordan. They went to some funny country. Then they found their way. They found their path. They went to China. And because their passport is being stamped and they've worked there, then they find their path to the US. So you go when you travel, when you live abroad, you broaden your thinking and your opportunities start coming because now you have a bit of cash flow. So anyone who's young, you have an education, you have a degree, you are not finding work, get on a plane and go. It doesn't matter where. You will change your mindset and you'll find your path. However, I also have met a lot of people in diaspora, like for example me, who had corporate jobs. And then you go there and you realize, I'm a wife. I have 4 children under the age of 5. You really need to change your mindset. And just now know you're now in the season of motherhood and the money bit might have to take a back seat and you raise your children. And understanding, Michelle Obama once said that when you're a woman and you're a mother and you're a wife, just know you can't have it all at once. There's that season where I did my corporate season, now I'm in my motherhood season, and then there'll be that season maybe later on in life where I may start working because my children have grown. I want to talk to women because I'm a woman and I really believe in women empowerment, especially in diaspora. When you're a woman, you need to know you have a very big role to play in your home, economically. I may not earn, but you see even that whole process of figuring out how to transition from student to green card, I'm the one who sat down and watched YouTube videos, wrote notes, went onto the website for the government, read about the laws, and talked to 100 people to figure out what pathway. Also went for, those gig jobs to figure out how can we save and find a lawyer who can teach us what to do. So if I didn't play my role, probably we wouldn't be where we are today. Because you see, my partner, he was busy going to work. And he's working, but his work permit maybe is only going to last a year or 2. So if I had not done anything about transitioning to a pathway into a permanent resident, we would have been in a quagmire 2-3 years down the road. That's the first thing. The second thing is that as a woman also you need to know you're the one also to push for your partner or your home to build wealth. So no man is going to tell you, let's go take insurance to protect our children, to protect our home. It's the woman who's always dragging the man. We have to buy a house. If you do not demand development, you will notice your life will always be
stagnant.
So as a woman, you have a huge role to play. You're the one to build the community, make sure you're taking your children to church, make sure you're building community by entering those WhatsApp groups, go serve so that you can build network. When you build network, you get a lot of information. You are looking at your friend, hey, this woman has 4 children, how come she's able to work? Learn. What do people do to survive here? How do we get medical cover? How do we get a home? How do we buy a car and not be in so much debt we are not surviving? You know, there are challenges that come with marriage and with a relationship. So you as a woman need to know you are the one who is a financial driver of your home. You may not be earning. But if you just sit back and you're waiting for a husband to think, you're really going to suffer as a family. So what I've seen is the women who are, even if you're not economically empowered like largely, but you have a small job, it helps you because you network and you grow. And then also you go visit people and realize, hey, yeah, this lady, we are the same, but they have a home. How come I don't have one? These people, they look very comfortable. What are they doing different? So that is the biggest lesson I learned, because for me, I thought, oh, I'm a housewife, I don't add any value. But now that I look back 10 years ago and where we are now, the partner you marry determines your success. The biggest mistake you can make is marrying the wrong person and go to diaspora. You're finished.